Okay. So this is the Veil Inheritance playtest number 3 of 4, in which we play something akin to Cowboy Bebop, but not quite. And so let's go over questions. Did anybody want to add or modify their questions or anything like that? Is everyone good?
I need to look.
I am now looking up my questions.
Yeah, I was thinking it might be, I wonder if it would be appropriate for Inheritance if I made it so that one question is specifically about like a past thing that you need resolved, especially since like if you roll and you get humanity harm, then you have a specific trigger with your question to dig into every time then. So I've been playing with that idea.
I mean, that definitely sounds like it'd be a good way to build fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for Valentine. I answered my question about Max. I'm going to ask a very easy one.
What you doing?
Yep. What do you do? No.
Yeah.
What is Real's bar like? Cyber bar.
Like the
Maxes?
Oh, that's right.
Amani
It's
bar?
Maxes. Well, that already did a Max thing. Dang it. All right. So let's see. Can I get
Bro
Real?
2 has a bar.
Can I get Real and Max to share an intimate moment?
Yeah, don't care which one.
No, it's can I get Real and Max to share an intimate moment with each other?
Yeah, it was just funny last time when you were like, I was going for the emotional part of that.
Oh, sure. Like they're gonna hook up. That's emotional.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Anybody else?
Of adding one about Max, which is going to be like, what does Max think of our past? Referring to the Hugh Abril thing.
I had a question about Valentine, but I'm not quite sure what to go with since Valentine is very new to me.
Yeah, what are you interested in seeing in the fiction, Steve?
Myself? Trying to think where we left off.
We left off with you finding the guy who was passing off,
sharing on pieces of himself.
Yeah, and you had tracked him to the cinema, and that's where we cut.
Okay. I mean, I definitely want to find more about, his plan and what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I want to see, how to put it? I think I want to find a point of empathy for that he's doing something that, obviously he believes in, but why the extreme, why he's gone so far to do it.
Okay. I have that already, so that's good.
Well, then your job is easy.
Yeah. I did some thinking about that too. I was like, why is this fella doing this? Seems radical. But do you have any things pointed at other characters that you want to explore? Because last time we got a lot of fiction between most of the characters. We still had a really good scene with Valentine interacting with Moza, but I think that was about it when everybody else was interacting. So is there any things that interest you that way that people could play into so you get what you want this session? Because you're not back for next session, right?
Right, I'm not.
Right.
I'm trying to think. I didn't have, and I'm not sure if I will have before the end of the session, why Valentine is the way he is. And I'm not sure if I want to explore that because I have to come up with it really quick.
I've got one that might be easy for a question to Valentine, which is like, why did you leave me? Because we've got that obligation of like, that you led me into danger and then ditched me.
Okay, let's do that then.
Yeah, so you could always just make that one of your own questions too, and then you can do a flashback at any point to like tell that story, right? So whenever you have that answer, you can just do it instead of coming up with it on the fly or whatever. You can just...
Right.
All right, so Valentine has it instead of me, or both?
You can both have that, right? Like, because you don't know why, and then if Steve doesn't know why right now, he can make that question.
I can come up with it.
And then come up with it, and then get XP in order to do that as well.
Why not?
Yeah. So you guys can both figure it out.
No, that sounds good.
Because really, it's easy for real because when Steve comes up with it, it does the flashback. It's answering yours as well, right? So you're just like cashing in on it.
Nice.
At least if you're, I guess it would be up to if your question or if the question was answered in that your character knows it too. It would be interesting if we find out the answer, but real never does. But yeah, so we'll see. Let's see. Does anyone else have stuff they want to bring up? Any questions they want to pose to other players? Like, it doesn't have to be about questions, but just like if they wanted to have particular scenes with each other or see certain things or whatever before we jump in. Everyone's good? Okay. Sounds good. So the last thing that we had seen was the interface that was like a old-timey phone booth type thing was hacked as like a team effort. And then the not, I guess it was kind of, it looked like stars, but like the photo effects or whatever, right, was hacked into disseminating these nanobots that would cure the rest of the people. And then we did like a smash cut to this old-timey cinema with our linker walking up to it, and then we had cut. So why don't we continue with that? Oh yeah, and Moza, what were you doing actually?
Sorry, hold on a second. My son doesn't understand. Don't talk to me because I'm gaming.
Mm.
I have that
Also,
on occasion too.
I think I got humanity harm from last time that we hadn't resolved.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I think I rolled a 1 on like things speak.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
And I
When
do
it
need
ranges
to roll for
well,
my
that's
move
it.
at the beginning too.
Yeah, and your humanity move. Cool.
So, question. You asked what Moza is up to. What can Z see or interact with? I'm sorry, I had a lot of background noise when you were given the update. I apologize.
No worries. The last thing that we saw Moza doing on screen was you were you were the one that found the information, right, about the nanobots, and then you had disseminated it to those guys, and they had like quickly used the photo booth to interact it and stuff. So I think while they were doing that, we could insert you into whatever kind of scene you want to be doing, really.
Okay.
You could have gone after the linker, or you could have
Yeah, it might be good to go after the linker.
Yeah,
I think that would be smart to further the mission, unless it's going to entangle me, and I don't want to hold anything up in the brief bit where I have to disappear.
Right, yeah. Maybe you guys come into either sides of the theater or something like that, right? to like corner the fella.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. And I'm imagining the cinema to look just like it's like even before, well, I guess I don't really know what the theaters in the United States are, but we had old theaters here, and then they got like kind of renovated to big corporate ones where they don't really look like the old cinemas anymore. They don't have like the additional awning seating above. They're just like row seating, and I'm picturing the cinema like that, where it has like the awning above you for like a few people, and so it's like a really classical looking one and not a corporate looking one, so pretty intimate. But there's not that many people in the theater as you enter, so you're like maybe temporarily blinded if you don't have eyes that compensate. I think the linker would be fine, but the bright light comes and goes, and then on the screen there's some like old black and white movie that's being shown, and it's probably like, I don't know, some detective film like Maltese Falcon or something like that. That there's a few people in the like middle-ish rows, but there's a solitary figure above in the awning, and how you would it's like the row seating on the bottom, and then there's two stairwells to the left and the right behind them that curl up to get to this awning part, and there's just one solitary figure up there that the linker, that is the person that you are looking for. So what do you guys do?
Linker needs to figure out how to not kill him.
A unique situation.
Very unique situation. I think Mose and I should go up and sit beside him.
Yes.
Maybe at a respectful different distance.
Right.
Don't want to rub elbows with the person who's spreading the plague.
Yeah, well, you guys have the antidote anyway, but yeah, he might have, other tricks up the sleeve, right? So you go up.
Yeah. And, I go up one stairwell. I imagine Mose going up the other.
Yeah, I dig that. That's cool.
Is either of you guys analyzing the situation or anything?
I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Using moves that actually can help. So I would like to, let me look at my little emotion wheel thing. I gotta make sure I gotta balance things out a little bit. I think I am going to analyze, and I think I'm in the sad wheel in this case because I feel like I'm not qualified to handle this kind of situation where someone has to be either talked into surrendering, requires so much empathy, and that's something I haven't expressed a lot.
Right.
Or have tried to push down,
Right.
which will work into Rill's thing later. But so I think I'm definitely coming from a point of where I definitely do not feel up to the task. And there's a dice thing around here, isn't there? Yeah, there is.
Valentine said that we can't just off him.
Inferior. But yes, you could interpret it as sad that he couldn't kill him.
Yeah.
Okay, so analyze. Ask 2. I'm going to say is how is he vulnerable to me?
Hmm.
Knowing that I can't kill him.
Let me see what your eyes can see here. Linker. Yeah, you've got the things. Okay, so what this looks like is, I'll send you guys a picture of what this person looks like, because I got my Pinterest going. as usuals. Okay, so this picture is what the guy used to look like, and then as I was describing last time, he was like giving parts of himself away slowly but surely to these people in order to infect them with nanovirus. And so now he's picture like a more thinner, like almost desiccated person filling these clothes instead. But you do spot like the weapon. Maybe we get a cool shot of your eyes like magnifying in and then like switching
like analyzing
to optics or something, and then you see like the curvature of his pistol right there sitting on his hip and everything.
I like the idea of seeing a pop out of rounds, distance, the whole the whole thing on the weapon.
Yeah, exactly. And I think how he might be vulnerable to you is not only are you aware that he is armed, but maybe you have a way of like jamming his weapon or something like that. I think that would be cool. Maybe just like what would his weapon use that would be jammed? It would be cool to see.
I mean, it could be electronic, or it could be something as simple as taking out the mag blade and slicing through the the barrel or something. Something a little bit more physical.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll say that you know that he's armed and you know how to disable his weapon if you choose to do that. And then what that looks like, you can just describe if it comes to that.
Okay. And then let's go with what, if anything, appears out of place.
So I think in a way, this whole scene seems kind of out of place, right? Because his objective before was permeating the place with like infections and stuff, and now he is alone on an awning instead of like maybe sitting dead center with these people or something like that, right? Like the natural inclination would probably be to assume that he is trying to infect all the people in the theater, but instead it seems like he's removed himself, and it could just be that he is like now too sick and like can't move and stuff like that, right? Like he really looks kind of zombie-ish, where he like maybe may or may not be able to stand and whatnot. And I picture it kind of like if you've ever seen Cowboy Bebop, when that kid gets killed and he like rapidly desiccates, something like that, right? Except he's not that bad. he's still like, alert and looking around and stuff like that, but he definitely doesn't have the capabilities that your bodies would have.
Okay.
And what is Moza doing?
So Moza remembers that Valentine suggested we don't sit right beside him, but Moza, Z also knows he has the cure. So I think Moza just goes and sits right beside him and rubs elbows with him and says,
"Okay,
have you seen this movie before?"
I think his lips like slowly crack the way like old people do as it opens into a smile, and he says that in some way this movie, we've all seen this movie, you and I.
I don't remember.
And then he like slightly turns to you, and his eyes are like a really brilliant green, which is quite strange. Like biologically one. Like I think you'd be able to tell if it was contacts or something like that, right? And he says, "Is your friend joining us?"
I'm sure he will if he feels safe.
I'll come over and sit, 2 seats away,
Okay. So Moses on one side and you're on the other side, like behind them, to the side of them?
I will
Sit behind so you can cap and pop.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking.
I'll sit beside because, I realize that's a threatening gesture.
Oh, okay.
And we don't want him to panic and, just like jump over the balcony or something, stupid. So.
Right.
What was the name? What was the name of our quarry? I can't remember. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I don't know if we had a name.
Yeah, I don't know if I gave it to you. Because it was like all redacted, right?
My name is Mosa.
Penchant written down on a piece of paper. I'm not sure what that means.
You have what?
Penchant.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Might be something completely unrelated, but what I've got on a random piece of paper.
Are you pensioned? Perhaps? I'm Mosa.
That's what they used to call me.
Oh. What do you call yourself?
Artemis.
Oh, a beautiful name.
You are not what I expected, Mosa.
You expected me?
I expected all of you. Didn't you think it was odd that I showed my face in the cameras? It took you longer than I expected, actually.
We're deliberate?
Very nice. I think he even smiles even wider at that. And I suppose you've saved everyone already then?
Of course. Though, I'm curious why you would put so many people at risk to talk to us. Or is there another agenda you have?
What risk do these people truly have when they could just simply die and get downloaded into a new body? I cost them capital, not life.
I look back at Valentine like, I don't have a retort for that.
But not enough money to matter. Not to them.
And he bows at that.
At most.
Exactly. An inconvenience. And he goes to laugh and it's sort of like a shudder. Like people who are typically dying in cinema, that kind of cough, right? Where it's like a racking thing that probably most people in real life don't sound like that, but it's like a cue to the audience being like, they dying. And he makes the sort of inclination in his head that is like an acquiescence to your point. And he says, I had to do this now, and I had to meet you now because, as you know, usually I'm not one for coming to colonies. I like to stay close to home. And he coughs again, right? And you and your team might be the only ones that can end me for real. As you've already noticed, this Slack will die, but I'm somewhere else. And the other me's need to be taken out just as I am, or this cycle will just continue. I've come a long way to die.
Mosa will reach over and put her hand over his because this is terribly depressing.
Well, that's kind. I guess it's a good thing that you have the cure. I think he flinches away at first and then realizes that you must have the cure, as we were just talking about that, and then allows to be comforted in his last moments. And what's a cool way of giving information in the future? I always think of like mini discs because they were made obsolete too fast and they were very cool. I had a mini disc player, and when that didn't,
I still own a mini disc player. I just won't throw it out.
Yeah, well, I was a kid, right? So I was just like, I think I had one when I was 19 or 20 or whatever, and then when I was like, oh, this isn't catching on, I just checked it. It's like beta or something. So yeah, maybe he gives you like a mini disc, and those things, if you like Google them, they look futuristic still too, right? Like with those little cases and stuff, like they have the little plastic.
Defensive, man. It's all good. I'm good with the mini disc. I'm 100% team mini disc.
Yeah, team mini disc, exactly. He gives you the, like, maybe actually what it looks like is you go to hold his hand, and when you do, you feel like the plastic casing in his hand, like he had it sort of palms down on the armrests, and then maybe he like turns it over so that you could hold his hand and the disc is in there. And he says it's a terrible thing being parted from your body. There are more of me out there than even I'm aware of, but we all are not the same person when we're decanted into a different body. Of course, we will ultimately change. And this life that I've had, from the point of which I was parted from my other, has led me to believe that we were wrong. We're all trapped just as they are, and he like points to the cinema, right? Like doomed to act out our lives in a continual loop that never breaks. We might as well just be flickers on the screen.
Like, what's this like? How do I say? Allow me to disagree, but I'm sorry you felt so much pain. I would like to ease it for you.
Is that like a move, or what are you doing?
No, I'm basically saying that Valentine's going to clip you now.
right.
I'm not a clipper.
Dang it, Linker, clip.
Are you guys signaling for the clipper?
Why us and why not?
We need a clipper. Where's the clipper?
I'm going to. I want to. I need a clipper up here.
Why us and why have you decided now to do this? Why not try to improve things yourself?
I think only a true imprint could be motivated by what I am telling you and what is on this very cool mini disc. Unless you were designed for a purpose and must complete it, there's no other lot in your life than maybe only someone like you and your team would be able to understand the necessity of ending all of me. As for now, you were the first team that I have found that has the capability. Most imprints fly apart like birds. They don't come together.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to roll my potential now in case I want to use it.
Oh, yeah, we forgot that, yeah.
Okay.
Are you going to superhumanly kill him?
No, I'm not going to superhumanly kill him.
Mm-hmm. So what...
I think I do communicate his location to Rildo.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I say, this one's ready to have this, you know, ready to be clipped.
Yeah, so maybe, yeah, we'll cue the other two people coming up, right? How is it that you take this guy out and clip him and his data before he dies? And you know, the mandate is to remove him without the public knowing about it and whatnot, right? Like the least impact on this area and the people around it. Any ideas, Brill? You're muted.
Yeah. I was just making thinking noises.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell if you were talking or not.
Yeah. I have no idea. Maybe we just watch the movie play out.
Oh, and then wait for all the people to like leave?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I bet he maybe, yeah, I think that's poetic too. Maybe he like barely holds on till the end of the movie, right? Until the credits are rolling up, and it's probably got
there's also, There's also a couple of questions I wanted to ask him while he's still alive.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Well, we could just cut to you guys coming up the awning or whatever.
Sounds good.
Sure.
I think like Rel will just like waltz up beside him, like the other side of Moser, and just like sit down heavily and be like, "You're the first I've ever met who's gone into this willingly."
I think he just smiles and says, "I'm waiting for a question."
You said we're all trapped in cycles, but why do you want the cycles to end?
I realized years ago that we were trapped, but the other people, my other selves don't. Their fulfillment is in their purpose, even if it is just destruction.
But it's because they're destroying that they can live.
Exactly. Nothing has ever changed, and you like, well, yeah, he'll say like, I was born many lifetimes ago, and I have changed nothing. I've taken lives for nothing, and I'll continue to take lives.
You've taken lives to be alive now. Because they are dead, that you can survive.
If that was fulfilling, I wouldn't be here. Do you find it comforting killing people, Clipper?
Most of the time. Every now and then, you meet people like you who I'll never understand.
Well, if you meet my other, then maybe then you'll understand.
Maybe. And then I think I would like to kill him.
Sure. I think that you wouldn't need to roll. It would just be inflicting harm in this case. Yeah. You don't... so what does it look like? The credits roll up, right? People leave the theater.
I think like during this time, Rel has been like fiddling with the gun like pulling out like a pocket screwdriver and like making adjustments to it. That, you know, maybe it doesn't explode. And like as the final name rolls off the screen, you like a click with her like pushing the last piece into place. And just like slowly pointing the gun to his chest and being like, maybe in another life.
Yeah, we get we get like a sudden jump cut to the reel of the film going off the the spindle, right? Cool. And so you've got intel. This person's clipped. I don't think I'm really interested in how you extricate the person. We'll just say that you do, right? Unless that's something that's.
I was thinking maybe we'd do like marionette him, a little Weekend at Bernie's action. That seems genre appropriate, right?
I was thinking old movie theater and curtains, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little.
I know it's very mundane, but
so mundane and smart. Your smarty smart pants.
Yeah.
We'll do what Valentine says.
And you come out, and I guess maybe not. I wonder if Moza and Valentine's have seen it yet. So maybe you come out with like the crumpled form rolled up in the curtains, right? And then you see all the stars falling from what they programmed the antidote to be. So everybody's fine.
And everyone's probably entranced with that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe we get a shot of you guys like walking to the elevator to your ship. Everybody else is looking up at the stars and wonder and clapping and stuff like that. And you guys are just like,
and we're carrying the diseased burrito, you know, through the street, right?
Yeah, yep. It's that's a moment that happens. And then I guess we can just cut back to the ship, right? Maybe you're back in your lair or what have you. Yeah. Unless
yeah, so I want to take a look at this disc.
Yeah. So what does the player look like? Is it like, I guess it could just be the same thing as the elusive man projector action, right? And then you could minority.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're doing this in a common space, so that we can all sit around and view it.
Right. Right. And so when you pull it up, I think it's got the typical Cowboy Bebop stuff where whenever they're like looking for a particular bounty, they somehow get information of their past, and it like is sparsed together to create it, right? So there's all this different footage that has been parsed together as sort of like a info dump for you guys. And the skinny is that Artemis is kind of was like a prototype for what imprints like you guys would become. He was like engineered with the a singular purpose, like a sort of like military combat type person, right? Because it's always military, new technology, or porn, but he didn't go that way. And what ended up happening though is at one point he gets like KIA or whatever, like he goes missing in some Jupiter battle or something, right? And he resurfaces later, and it seems like he has been like someone has hacked his genes to be like a weapon against his creators, right? To like go off. His mission was to continually destabilize and destroy corporations and governments and stuff like that. And obviously this is like probably like 100 or 150 years ago, something like that. So he's been doing this for like a very long time, and was one of the first operatives that was put into different bodies and like needle cast right out to other planets in order to do this. And there are like numerous sightings of him, but like I was saying before, he is typically just like an earther, and you could put together now that that's mostly because like he has the same genetic compulsion that you guys have selected in your amended section, except that it would be like to continually wage war until you've won against capitalism, essentially, right? But he's just never succeeded at that. So it just continues to sleeve into new bodies and do that stuff. And then it like does maybe like a cigarette burns as that ends, right? Like the end of the reel. And then there's a new thing that's been sliced in with this specific Artemis, and it just says like Artemis dash 24, and it shows like this really it is the same person that you've met, but they're living like a sort of normal life, and it was like his intention in putting in this footage to say that like he broke free from his protocols and developed ironically, essentially like a drug that, oh yeah, you needed to get a drug, right? Maybe we'll just say that you bought that.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah, so this is a different drug, and it suppresses the genetic compulsion to do this thing. So he lived out like a somewhat normal life until his family was like killed in a essentially like an NRA bombing thing, like a destabilization thing on a different planet. And then shortly after he launched this mission to send you after himself, that kind of thing. And we'll just say that you bought your drugs. I forgot about that. While other people were talking to this guy, we'll just cut to like some dark alley or something, and you're like, yo, what am I, some regress, man? With some guy with like a pointy nose and like a really long cape who's got like the vials of stuff.
It's exactly what I had in mind, so sounds good.
Yeah. So just deduct like, I guess, just 1 cred or something for that. But yeah, and then you have the sequencer that can suppress genes as well, and use your 3D printer. Oh yeah, see you, Rich. So you have the thing that can suppress, supposedly anyway, the genetic inhibitions that are programmed in people, which you all have. P.S. It's a very fun movie. 10 out of 10. So yeah. And then we can just hand wave the whole like you getting paid. So each of you guys get 4 cred, right? As you deliver, I guess.
Straight into regress.
Yeah, you delivered the body or burned it or whatever. You're like threat neutralized. Or maybe do you think Brill keeps like is there some sort of like log of people clipped that you have that like are verified by authorities or something? It's just like I don't know, it has the genetic code of the person that you clipped or something, and then it'll just be like X or something, right?
Nice. I like the idea of like tattooing these numbers into my skin. So like on my arms, I tattoo the identifying marker of Artemis 24.
Oh, okay.
Like strike a line through it as the job is done.
Okay. Is it like in like a tattoo with data on it or something like that? So it's just like
I like it. Nanobot ink.
Yeah. Exactly. Cool. Yeah, and then I guess like if anyone ever needs proof or whatever, right? Then it's all there. I'm assuming since you you'd have to prove somehow that you clipped them, right? So there's got to be some kind of trail.
Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially this guy went, initially was the same as his counterpart, went on a mission, went missing, same as the other ones always do. Except this one in particular resurfaced years later with like a cure for the genetic thing and lived a ostensibly normal life until his family was killed, and then he decided to, maybe with like a act of altruism or like whatever, right? Like a midlife crisis, except like 200 years later, decided to mobilize you people being, and his thinking is that imprints might identify with this, and given that you have the cure, then at the very least then you have something that will free you from the same bonds that he used to have, right? So what do you guys do with this information?
I think the first question Valentine has is, do we share this with our fixer?
Yeah.
I mean, this could drastically affect how imprints are dealt with.
Yeah. Like, you can think of imprints as sort of a manufactured middle class, right? Like, you're not lower class because essentially they're programming you with a skill. And if you're an imprint, you probably just always have work because people know that you're essentially like perfect at this specific skill. But you're also oppressed in a different way in that you are manufactured from birth to do that thing and that thing only.
Right. I mean, it could change how we're treated, but also enable those of us who want to be free of whatever we were made with a chance to live that. He's looking to roll
Max or Brew. Yeah. Yeah, what do you guys think?
I think Max is like quite quiet about the idea that you need to be free of your imprint. And I don't think she yet feels comfortable sharing that, but I think you can probably tell that she's got a lot, like she's processing this and she's withholding stuff because I think she has a very different opinion of imprints.
Right.
I think what Rel wants to know is, why did he give this to us? What did he want us to do with this?
He wanted you to basically go take out his others, right? Who continue to like.
Right. The bonus data is the how to suppress your imprint.
Yeah.
You know, or if there's
it's like a tip on top.
If there's imprints that are harmful, or
yeah.
But I think, you know, if Max isn't saying anything, Valentine's going to try and probe her to figure out what's going on in that head.
Sure. Sounds good.
Sounds
like
good.
Yeah, like Brill, basically it's like a person who is ostensibly the same person who's led like a divergent life, but the same person who's saying like, my others have never been free, so either you could free them with this, or like I'd prefer they just get a bullet, right? Rather than
I see.
being stuck in this same cycle.
So I think I'm going to probe probably with peaceful. This is a lot more introspective and thoughtful than he usually is. But it's also like the first time he's thought, hey, I could turn this off. Oh, what does a 7 give me? 1. What are you really feeling, Max?
How do I sum this up in a word? Oh, jeez. I think she's feeling a bit isolated from the group in that respect, since from her, she feels like Valentine's pretty on board with freeing people from their imprints, and I think she's just feeling a bit like a dissenting voice. Perhaps you can read that because she's maybe like sort of a bit like shoulders hunched over a bit, physically like sort of removed.
Yeah, I think when Valentine sees that, it's like, you might be happy with who you are and what your imprint was made to do. But for some of us, and for some of the ones like Artemis, there are times we want to be different. We want to be better than, to do something better with our lives than what we were programmed for.
Well, what do you wish you could be then, Valentine?
Like, there are times I wish I could just live a normal life. Not be always on the hunt, always ready to kill, always willing to kill.
Are you sure it's not a case of the grass is greener? Would you be like, wouldn't you get bored?
But is there anything wrong with wanting to try that? I mean, the ability to turn it off and have a year off from being on the hunt, or a life off from being on the hunt. Let another imprint fulfill that need.
I think the idea of like turning it off, you see Max like climb up a bit, and I think like because I think she's like, she links up turning off the imprint with like turning off that connection to the ship.
Right. Yeah, totally. We're totally different.
Yeah. And I think that that idea of silence is like terrifying.
Yeah, because for Max, it's the only way that they can feel love too, right? Like,
yeah,
the machine.
And this is what we have to wrestle with what we do with this data. I mean, some may use it for their own benefit. Others could use it to, harm an imprint or to make them lesser.
I clipped what I needed to clip. We don't need more casualties. I don't reckon we should destroy this.
But do you want to give it to the elusive man? Your handler, the fixer?
Valentine's clearly not comfortable with that.
What?
He's hired us for one job.
Right.
Yeah.
The question is, what do we... So Valentine's like, okay, we don't know what the Fixer will do with this. Really. We don't know what side the Elusive Man is on. Whether we're just tools for him, or whether he cares about doing anything greater with imprints. What we do have is a request that someone deal with the rest of the Artemis that are out there. And I see that as not being easy or free. Or easy or without cost.
Given
Any suggestions? And he looks at
the pay we just got, we could do this ourselves. Honestly. I have 8 cred and I don't know what to do with it.
Buy a house.
Buy a planet.
Live on a farm. They live a normal life.
Well, the reason why you guys have so much, you don't know this yet, but is because we're going to be playtesting the mech part of it soon. And it's expensive to fix mechs, so...
Nice.
Oh, I'm booked.
Why don't we take a break, though? It's
okay.
on the hour, so let's come back at 09.
Cool.
Okay. Back in a couple.
Okay.
Alex.
Lauren.
I forgot to say yesterday, the new season of Vies de Mol is out.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, it's real fucking good. You need to watch it.
I did. Where's it available? Is it on Netflix?
Oh, it's on YouTube. There's like English subs. Like the first episode, it blew my mind. It was so good.
Nice. Is it all out right now, or is it like still releasing?
I think they're at episode 6.
All right, nice.
I'm at like episode 4.
What movie? What show?
It's you like the old like reality show The Mole?
What?
It's this Dutch reality show called the Vies de Mol. And it's real weird. It's like the contestants are trying to like complete challenges to win money, but one of them is like a betrayer, and the whole jam is like you've got to figure out who the betrayer is, and if you can't, then you get eliminated from the show, pretty much.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
But it's pretty good.
it's really good. Yeah, because like it's like a very much like a whodunit. 'Cause, like the audience doesn't know like who the betrayer is either, so they're trying to like figure out like, oh my god, it could be this person for like these reasons and stuff. And
So the betrayer doesn't get like knocked out in the first couple rounds, obviously, but do they go on after the betrayer has actually been removed, or do they make a new betrayer?
well, the catch is like the way you get eliminated is you take a test on who the mole is.
Okay.
And obviously like the mole just passes it every time because the mole knows everything about themselves, so they always get through like the finale. And like the last episode is always like they always like do a dramatic cut like at the end where there's like the 3 final contestants and it's like which one of these people is the mole, and then there's like the reunion episode where they like finally show you who the mole is, so like you go the whole series.
Oh, really? So they even go through the final episode without knowing?
Yeah.
Wow.
And like for some reason it only got, oh geez, this is real embarrassing. I'm so glad this is being recorded. Like they only did like a couple of seasons in the US and Australia and stuff, and then it died pretty quick. But for some reason the show just like took off in the Netherlands, and they're up to like episode like season 18 or something ridiculous like that. So
Wow.
they put it down to like an album, and it's like my favorite show ever. It's so good.
Nice. Cool. So let's see. Yeah, so you guys were trying to decide what you wanted to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Are you gonna go do this dying man's wish to kill himself?
Selves.
Yeah.
I think we should. Real, Max?
Did some interesting things. I'd like to meet him again.
Okay.
I think he sounds dangerous, and I wouldn't mind taking him out.
All of him?
All of them.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so how are you gonna find this person?
Well, I think I do have Tracer, so I could certainly start with that.
Yep.
When it says assimilate a trace of something I wish to find,
Mm-hmm.
is that meant to be, physical or mental?
I left it open just so
Okay.
people could make the move their own.
And I think with the data we have, but especially like the the genetic sequencing and stuff like that, it could be. I can see some of these options coming into play.
Mm-hmm.
So where do I want to go on the wheel for this? I'm always joyful when I'm on the hunt. It's just what it is. That's how I was imprinted.
Okay, exactly.
So I am going to go with that. I'm not completely maxed out yet. Yeah, a paltry 7. So I think I want to discern the next step in the path they've left to themselves. Plural.
Okay.
In this case.
So what does it look like? Why does the process harm you? Is it like feedback or something?
I think so, because there's so many of them.
Oh, yeah.
There's... I think I have to take in a lot of data in order to, sort out all of the different versions of them.
Right.
I'm not looking for one target. I'm looking for, potentially hundreds. And, so it's almost like, the, steam coming out of the ears, type thing of, there's just a lot of input being processed in order to find, either the likely, next one to track, or, how to track all of them.
Right. And then you are either altered physically or mentally by what it is you seek. Now or later, you choose. What do you choose?
I don't know. I think the next part is MC will sign. Let's go with mentally.
Now or later.
For kicks, let's go for now.
Okay. Why don't we say that I'll give you the tag obsessed.
How is a tag used like that?
It's just for you playing into to doing it. Yeah, I might make it. I was toying with it being like,
I mean, I would think the option of it, disadvantage. I don't know what you use for disadvantage, but
I was thinking, yeah, it could be disadvantage, but I was also thinking of toying with making it a additional compulsion, and then when you play into it, then I give you XP, so it could be like almost like
there's a reward for it, but it changes your character.
Yeah,
no, I like that.
Yeah,
I think that would be a good use of it.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm going with it, and then that way, it can be the Monster Hearts. If you do this, you get XP, but it's gonna suck for you. That's probably what we'll end up with that move.
No, I like it.
Yeah, so you find, I think there's 4 of them in operation, and one of them is like actually fairly close by. They're like, all I can think about is Leviathan's Wake and say that they're belters, the people that work on the asteroids. We'll just be derivative and go with that. So he's the closest one is a belter who uses like mecha type things to scrub asteroids that are coming at the center. So they like mine the asteroid, and of course around the field. Oh, Lauren's gone. Oh, wow. I think her internet went down all the way because she just dropped out of Roll20 as well. But yeah, in this asteroid field, sometimes they other small debris and stuff like that get on a trajectory for the asteroid mining facility, and this person goes and like clears them out with like a flying mecha thing. Welcome back. Yeah, I saw that you like left and then suddenly dropped from Roll20 as well, and I was like, oh, gone for good.
I hit a button that killed everything.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, I thought your internet might have dropped.
That was
I've been
human error.
mid-game and hit close all windows on my browser. Yeah, that
Oh.
wasn't what I was looking to do.
Yeah. Whoops. Looking for cool. What did you hear, Lauren? Where did you get cut off?
Whole recap would be good. A brief recap would be good. Thank you.
Okay, so you found 4 of them. The closest one is I don't have a cool word for what they do, but the people on the asteroids, the Belters, there's a mining facility there, and from time to time there's debris and other asteroids and stuff like that that get on a collision course with the mining facility, and this person is tasked with like whatchamacallit, like using the sheath to blow up anything that's on a trajectory course with it. And the weird thing about it is that that's also at cross purposes with what the person thought that they were mandated to do, right? Like normally it'd be like blowing up and destabilizing governments and killing capitalism and stuff, right? But this person's just ostensibly out there shooting at asteroids on collision courses.
Wow, so we could conceivably be taking out another one that solved the problem for themselves and isn't necessarily willing or a participant that needs to be dealt with.
Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Quick question about the drugs.
Yeah.
It's like regress. We've got 2 kinds of drugs that I need to know. We've got regress, which is like you revert back to your like original like before imprint self.
Yeah, it's basically the opposite of the drug that you guys just found, right? It would be like embracing your imprint instead of suppressing the genetic compulsion that you have.
Right. So there's 2 kinds of drugs, and the one we just got is one we don't have. It's all about like this self being free.
Yeah, like instead of you having that compulsion to do the thing that you're designed to do, it suppresses that, right? And then regress makes it so that you completely go into the imprinted identity.
Sweet ass. So do we have a plan to get this sticking new drug?
I don't know. I think that in the time of the future, you could probably just like program it into your printer or something like that, right? And it would just be like blah 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 blah. here's your drugs. I think you would just need to like maybe it might cost money to print it just because you're needing to consume the materials and stuff like that, but otherwise I think it would be like impossible really to regulate it. Maybe you'd have to like hack your printer or something, right? Because it would be like beep beep, that's a bad one, don't be printing that. Say no to drugs, and then you just have to be like do no, we want the drugs, and it's like okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that seems legit, right?
I think Rel might get to work on that.
Okay, that's good. So we'll say same thing. Drugs cost 1 cred.
Good as I might buy 2.
Okay, get those drugs. Print them. And here's some pictures of asteroid stuff that I was looking at, just so we have some visuals. Mecha in space. Yeah, nothing really good for picture-wise there, but Yeah. So okay. So yeah, you're able to locate this and whatnot. So are you wanting to? Oh, hey, Rich. So to recap for Rich, you the other people anyway have decided to go after the other renegade imprints of this person to take them out, or to I think it's to take them out, but I guess we'll see what happens. And so you've located one on a nearby asteroid belt who is actually like living kind of a what seems to be like a normal life, since they were designed to destabilize governments and kill capitalism and stuff like that. It's odd because you found this person working as an asteroid belt who uses like a mecha-like machine, a sheath, to destroy incoming debris that's about to hit the facility as it mines asteroids for different minerals and stuff like that. So it's not something that you would typically have thought them doing. And then people were just discussing what they wanted to do about that.
And we decided for now not to give the elusive man the drug information that would allow imprints to be suppressed.
Yeah.
And Max and I went back and forth a little bit on it. Because she's like, oh, this is horrible. And I was like, well, sometimes I don't want to kill everyone I meet. And I do tend to want to kill a lot of the people I meet.
Yeah. You guys are at odds that way.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of, a sign of empathy and vulnerability from Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You would have appreciated it. Yes, you would have.
Yeah. Now that you're back,
you'll have to watch the replay.
Yeah. Now that you're back, it's over. Sorry.
I killed the mood with my compassion.
Now we're here. Now we're back to killing everything we encounter.
Yeah. Valentine's put that aside now. But yeah, I think you'll find like a whole bunch of news on the company information of the asteroid and all that kind of stuff as you're doing your research about it. And it seems like it is a arm of the military doing the mineral mining, though. So it's not as like innocent, I guess, as maybe
explosives
looks,
or something.
Yeah. And it's definitely like below the surface. Like it would be like a subsidiary.
Yeah, I like that picture you supplied that showed the scale of things, and I think that was very evocative.
I'm all about that Pinterest.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it is made to look like a normal mining facility that has an arm, but is an arm of a Earth or military group. And the credentials that you can find on this person make them look like they're just a normal person who goes around pew-pewing the asteroids that are about to hit the mining facility, which is like a normal day job, probably. Think like Titan AE, but no aliens, I guess. And so what do you guys want to do? And you're doing this outside of the purview of the elusive man, right? Like you're just like taking vacation time.
Yeah, we're taking care of these ourselves.
Yeah.
Unless we run out of funds, in which case we'll have to figure out what to do. But
Moza, did you have any thoughts on what to do with the drugs or taking these people out or anything like that?
Moza is not a fan of something that suppresses what Z is. Not a fan of that.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Moza wouldn't want to.
That's what I said.
Moza wouldn't want to destroy it because if there's a cure, there has to be some kind of way to stop the cure. And if you destroy it, it'll still happen, but you need to stay a step ahead of it. So Moza wants to keep it and study it and find ways to keep it from working on at least Zur and Zur friends.
Okay, so you want to have an additional thing that will prevent that from getting rid of the genetic compulsion. Yes. Basically, is the end goal anyway. And I guess it's
antidote to the cure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I guess it's a good time to mention that Brill is like paid 2 cred to print some of this drug up then.
Yeah. Stockpiling it.
Okay, so do you do that in private? Like, does anybody else know about this or what?
I mean, it depends on like if Moza told me what he thought about it. Because he was open and was like, "This is bad." I would have been like, "Well, fine, I'll do it in my room." But otherwise, probably just wouldn't have cared.
You know, if you did it without anyone knowing, would the ship still know?
Oh, wow. That's an interesting question. Would the ship know? What would the ship think about that?
As a result, Max.
Yeah. I feel like the ship would not be on board with suppressing genetic imprints. Not that I can talk for the ship. The ship is their own person.
Yeah, I don't know. How would Amani feel about that? Because Amani, if you recall, was very, very interested in the idea that everyone was trapped into their own cycles, right?
Yeah.
Of course,
are you going to take away my free will next?
Yeah.
I don't know anymore.
So, Rill, we're making multiple copies of this drug for what purpose?
I mean, it's interesting.
I agree. But it's also dangerous.
I don't see why.
Wouldn't it pose a threat to us? Don't you think?
I mean, I don't know if you're watching, but he posed no threat to us.
We should study it. I agree. Is that why you're making more?
I'm making it to use it. Why else?
To study it is why else? By Moza would have approached Rill, and so I don't want you to go down the road that Pinchin went. I have good news for you. I believe that Max might be interested in intimacy with you.
What?
I believe that Max would like to be intimate with you, Rill.
Why do you know this, and why should I care?
Because I'm very perceptive. And because you wish this. We've talked about it, remember? Please don't tell me this is
anything like that.
She goes back and calls up the memory. This is what you said to me.
I think you discerned it from watching them, though, right?
I thought no. I traded it. She admitted it to me for information.
I remember Brill saying it.
Yeah, I said. Sorry, I had so many confusions. I said it as Alex talking about Rel, but I don't think Rel said it in character. Is what I was trying to go for.
Oh. Okay, then there's no memory call up to like whammy bam. It's just, I know. Rill, please be honest. Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
I don't see how this and this drug are related. This is my business.
But if you harm yourself, you will ruin the chance.
This won't harm me.
That bears further study before we dive headlong into it.
Look, I'm different from that anarchist. I'm me, okay? And I don't care what you think.
You are different now, but he was different before. He has been many different people.
If you guys want to probe,
yeah, we should do some probing.
Because then I think one of them is, how could I get you to, right?
Yeah. I'm paying attention, studying and examining reactions during the interaction to attempt to learn more about them. So I think I fulfill this. I'm sad. This is so sad.
Yep.
Why is she lying about what she wants? I'm handing it to you. Come on. So sad.
You think Rill is like that honest with her feelings? You got another thing coming.
Oh, that's a 10. Yeah, so what are you really feeling?
I think in this time, it's kind of like disgusted that you think so lowly of me. Like I am not the same as them. I know what I'm doing. I can handle myself. I'm not some junkie.
That reads. That makes sense. So, what do you wish I'd do? I'll even say it. Well, bro, what do you want from me? What do you wish I would do?
I think you should leave me alone to my business.
I respect that. How can I get you to pause on the use of this drug until further study?
That is a very good question. I think in character, it will be like, you can't. I'm not going to listen to you. But the answer is Alex is stop me and Artemis from meeting.
I will respect your boundaries, Frill. Please don't make me regret it. And then I'll leave. And now I need to go find Artemis and stop this from happening.
Okay. Does anyone else want to have some ship scenes before we get to the asteroid belt? If you guys are going there.
Would now be an appropriate time, having just discussed the use of drugs, to take some drugs?
What? You're gonna do the regress, right?
Yeah, why not?
Is that what's happening? Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, why not? Just get high. I gotta get to that place somehow. Okay. Let's see. So you're gonna be doing confluence as well, right?
Oh yeah, toots.
So I'm wondering. Okay, well, roll confluence. That'll
help.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh geez, I forget. Is this with emotions?
The confluence, yeah.
Ah, cool.
Also, are you bringing anyone with you that you promised to?
Oh shit! I did promise. Jeez.
It's up to you. Maybe it just only works for you too, right? I don't know.
I don't think I will. I think I will. I think I'll just do this sneakily by myself.
Okay.
I didn't say when I was gonna share that part of myself, right? Just that I would.
Yeah, I think Moza asked, right?
Yeah. Moza did ask.
Yeah.
Sorry, Moza.
Okay, so how are you feeling about this?
Oh, jeez. Where's my feeling wheel? Oh. I think probably joyful. I think. Yeah. I'm pretty happy about taking drugs.
Even though it's like making Q supplant Max. Well, I'm assuming that, like, are you taking the drug first and then doing the confluence, or you're doing the confluence, like linking yourself to the ship and stuff, and then you're taking the drug to regress, right? Or
yeah,
what?
yeah. I feel like yeah, I think the latter. I think linking, like doing confluence and then taking the drugs makes sense.
Okay, so you're joyful doing the confluence because you always are, right?
Yeah,
joining with the ship, feeling the love, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oops.
Nice. That's really good. That's the opposite of what you did last time. So make sure you mark down that you have hold 3 for this, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, yeah, you can do whatever moves that you're looking to do. By, like, you consume the hold in order to do that, right?
Yeah. Oh my god, I need glasses.
For what? Confluence?
Reading.
Yeah, like, are you trying to read confluence though?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I see. Yeah.
So you spend your hold to treat the vessel as an NPC for the purposes of a move, or take advantage forward on a roll that involves the vessel, which means when you use your sheath playbook for stuff, you could consume it to be really good at the thing that you're doing, right?
Awesome. Yeah, I think I want to spend 1 to probably probe the ship.
Okay, because you're entering that space, right? The jazz bar.
The jazz bar space, yeah.
So why don't you give me that visual? What does the confluence look like in entering that space?
Awesome. Ooh. Okay, no, I like this. So I think this time, like, the space is a bit different. Like, it's a bit augmented from the usual jazz bar. It's almost like half of it's the jazz bar with the stage and the lights and the soft jazz and stuff. But then the other half is a space that I haven't seen before. Like it's almost as if someone drew the curtain back, space that I hadn't seen before. Maybe I had seen it, or maybe I just hadn't noticed it. I don't know. But it looks like Imani's wine bar, like with the booths and stuff. And I think this time I am greeted by someone who's not the shadowy figure, which seems to be like some kind of waiter or something, which I think is going to be one of the NPCs from Imani's wine bar. And they asked me to sit down at a booth, which I do. And then I think a glass of wine is brought to me, which I think is like the dream representation of regress, right?
Right. So you consume the drug digitally as well?
Yeah. I like that idea.
Okay. and this is at a time when like Moza is sleeping or something because you don't want Moza to come in.
Yeah, sorry, Moza.
Yeah, Moza will have
Bust the deal, face the
wheel. Yeah, she will have the revenge. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think you take, you consume the alcohol, the wine, right, instead of the Jamesons this time. Or Amani is the one that has the Jamesons, right? If I remember right. I think so. So Amani is like waiting, and I think what it looks like though is the shadowy figure that has always been in there with you is like illuminated like a spotlight, right? Like as if they're on a stage and about to sing or something like that, except they're just standing in the middle of the dream, and it's Q, right? It's you. That's who's always been in there with you. And yeah. So I think I'm wondering what it would be like for you, though. Like, I wonder if you just sort of black out as Max, right? Because you're now Q. Or are you interested in having a conversation with Amani as Q? Or are you more interested in the fact of it just being like a blackout and you don't even get to participate in this?
Oh my gosh.
Like, do you become the shadowy figure in the bar who can't do anything now, right? Like you switch places?
I think that sounds appropriate. Given the nature of this.
Yeah, so maybe maybe in a weird surreal way, what it looks like then is like the spotlight comes on, Q's illuminated, right? And what does Q look like?
I think I kind of dig like the
because only like you, me, and yeah, nobody else would know. So like Richard and Steve don't know what Q looks like.
So I think this is going to which that's another good question, is which vessel is Q occupying? Is this original Q, or is this I like the knit too much. So like I think this is gonna be like Neon Q, who has like, I think it was like magenta pink hair, and wears like a very oversized knit sweater that is made of blues and teals and a little bit of like with like little bits of orange in it, like kind of gaudy. But like a very illuminating neon glow to it as well. There's very, very neon. And this, so probably it stands out quite a lot in this dingy jazz bar.
Mm-hmm. And I think Q goes over to where you're sitting across from Amani, and Amani has like a thin smile on. And Q takes Max's hand and leads you to the spotlight, and you stand in the middle of the spotlight, and then the lights turn off. And you're in the shadow, and then you don't get to know. But yeah, so, and then I think back in like physical IRL, it depends. I guess, well, it would be up to you, but I'd be interested in you exploring it more in reality as you being Q for a few hours even, right? And people being like, what's up with Max? But you're still cut out of that conversation with Amani, right?
Yeah, which is annoying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Does anyone else want any other scenes on the ship?
Nope, for me.
Has Valentine had any scenes lately?
Just the intense one that you missed.
Dang it!
That's okay. There'll be a flashback scene somewhere coming up. So.
Okay.
But you won't be there. Okay,
yeah.
so
Valentine. This is like while I was making the drugs, you're like, you want in?
Like, not until this job is done.
Ooh.
Like, I'm willing to try it.
Like after?
Yeah, but we have to do this first.
Right.
And I can't have the instincts I need to rely on blunted.
To each their own.
Why are you taking it?
Yeah, are you taking it before this as well?
Yeah,
bro?
so I'm asking him, like, why are you interested in taking it?
I'm curious to see what that other Artemis was talking about. So I'd like to see what the next one has to say. And I figure it'd be interesting to try it as a different me as well.
So more recreational as opposed to, I don't know, a need to suppress something you don't like.
The journey of discovery, if you will.
I can appreciate that.
I mean, we can always make more if you want some.
And I again, sort of check the door, of the room we're in, like, make sure the formula doesn't go missing.
Good call.
And are you taking this before you go on mission, or?
Nah, I think I want to save it for now.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so what's the plan?
Bring it with me, though.
Okay, that's good. Bring the drugs. Don't forget those. I just had a thought. Lauren, do you want to adjudicate if you'll still be Q or not by doing a risk roll, or would you rather just it be that you're Q for a little bit?
Oh, I'm good with either.
Because the risk could just be that
what's more interesting?
The drug takes longer or whatever, right? So that you're Q on this mission or something, or during some of it at least, or something like that.
Yeah, let's roll it up.
Okay. So, and then we also get the fictional clarification of how you feel taking this drug, right? That is to suppress yourself in order to satiate the person that you love, basically, right?
Yeah, which I think the irony is that I'm going to regress to someone a lot more robotic. So that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Crap.
What?
I opened up the wrong window. And I still roll with emotions at risk?
Yeah.
I would ask that every time. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know why I need to ask that all the time. How am I feeling about this? Probably a bit mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sort of took this drug thinking like it would help her make things feel better, but I've sort of been like kept out of it. As if it were like a personal moment not for me to have.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. So you got a 6, so mark XP, and I think I think the failed risk is that the drug, like, you don't know how long the drug was gonna last, right? And it turns out it's lasting a lot longer than you thought it would.
Nice.
Cool. So you guys pull up to this asteroid belt. What's a cool name for an asteroid belt? The only one I can think of is Asteroid M from X-Men, which would not be great.
Call it Notch.
Notch? Cool.
Yeah, like a notch in a belt. It's a really bad joke.
Yeah. Well, it's better than Asteroid M, that's for sure. You get to Asteroid M, where all the mutants are. Magneto's there, just chilling.
And not aging at all.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a comic book now. Now take your drugs. No,
So I would like to use the road to figure out our journey there.
Sounds good.
I think I'll do this from a position of wheel.
Are you guys apprehensive? Like,
I think I'm a little hesitant on this just because, there's no guarantee this person wants to be clipped. I mean, obviously the bad ones are, sure, just do it. But what if this one's figured out the same route the other one did? What if a number of his imprints have, figured it out?
Right.
So I guess that'd be from scared, maybe insecure about it.
Mm-hmm.
So many buttons. Also a 6.
Cool. Okay, so mark XP. Moza, do you have any moves that you want to do?
I don't think so. I'll take a look.
Or Brill too?
Dang. I could have used the voice on Real. Is it Real or Brill?
Rel.
Okay. So I thought you said Brill earlier, and I was like, okay, I must be wrong.
Oh, so it is Rill?
Yeah.
Right. No B, right?
No B. So it's all from Avril, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah, I think Z wants to get on with the mission and is really worried about her friends, but Brill's been really mean and is pretty definite about this, so
It's true.
Z will let it go for now.
Don't you have moves for hunting a target then?
Yeah, I do. Sorry. I've got Art of the Pursuit, so I'd like to assimilate some information available on this target and roll.
Sounds good.
I think Z's still sad. This whole thing of being rebuffed by Real is just breaking Zero.
Is it the same scene as when Valentine is searching for all the information?
Yeah,
except,
we're
except
working
you're
together.
kind of like pouty.
I'm all depressed about it, and Valentine's just hardworking.
In which case, you could theoretically help me.
I could. Why don't I just do that?
Sure. Okay. Well, roll another die and then take the highest.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah, it would give you advantage.
Okay.
You've got a 2 and a 5, so
yep.
Oh.
Awesome. You fail more and more, and I get to fail with you.
Well, it's 7 though, right?
At least we'll
5.
bond.
Oh, because you have a -1.
Yeah, I have a -1.
Okay, I was like, yeah, how come that isn't a 7? Okay.
Or I didn't until I got the experience points to raise it up, but too late.
Okay. Right. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to that. So yeah, you were doing the road, right, when you failed?
Right. So I was, probably, trying to plot a course through, something that would, if it is a military installation, something that would avoid, detection.
Right. So I think what you set upon is that like you're trying to find all these routes, but since it is I think you barely pull up the information that it's like a military arm of a thing, and then you get a little too close to it, and it like basically blocks the information that you're searching for. Like it just shows up as like the equivalent of like space classified, right? And but that being said, you're not in like danger or anything like that. They the person who you were searching for is in the second picture I put. They're like, as far as you can tell with your scans, there's one solitary figure on one of the asteroids that's floating around. And I sent you one of the Pinterest things. So there's like all those asteroids floating around and the 2 figures, except it's just one person. And there's like a little mecha thing that's like parked there. It's like they're taking a break at work or something like that. And I imagine that they look, I don't think you've gotten this close yet, but I think they look like Spike from Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, but it just seems to you that like nothing too strange is happening. I think it would be normal to approach a military installation and them to like block your communications and stuff like that. So what do you do with that information? They're not inside the base. They're parked on this floating asteroid for whatever reason. What's your approach?
I'm going to recommend that our pilot, who I assume is Max, literally in many ways, like park us on the other side of that asteroid away from the base.
Affirmative.
Yeah.
Yeah, so may I aeronaut through this space?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Navigate through space. Yeah, through an asteroid field. That sounds good.
Yeah. Neat. Can I also spend one of my compliments?
Definitely, yeah.
Excellent. I feel like real in tune with this ship for some reason.
For some reason, yeah.
I kind of like feeling powerful, since I know that was like the first emotion that Q started with.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Ah, sweet. Oh no, that means asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I would like to. Oh yeah.
Well, I guess like you ask one and then a follow-up question, right?
There's still so many questions for me. Is there a path through the space that is safe?
Yeah, and so we'll contextualize this for the path being safe to a path that is like, Valentine, are you angling for like an approach vector that he won't notice or something like that? Or
yeah, I was going for one that he wouldn't notice, but would also put us we weren't visible on the surface from the proper mining facility.
Yeah, so we'll just say it's like a master class navigation thing that you do.
Indeed. Is there something that here that telegraphs to me that I should be on the lookout for it?
Yeah, you should be on the lookout for the fact that the like, how would you see it in your ship? Let me see what enhancements you have. I think like maybe you're looking through the ship as if you are the ship, right? Because you're like confluenced with it. So I think you see the fact that like his like the engine at the back of the mecha ship thing is like still warm, which is strange. Like it's on like preheat or whatever, right? Like it's ready to go. It's a preheated engine.
Yeah. I definitely
So-
relay that to the rest of the crew to the tune of like,
Yeah.
colleagues, I would like to note that our target is indeed ready for preheat and may evade us
Yeah.
in due course.
Yeah, when you look harder, there's a baking sheet with some cookies, and it's at 450 for 10 minutes. Yeah, so basically, it signals that he, for whatever reason, is like ready to go at a moment's notice, even though it looks like he's not doing anything there. And you will have definitely got a jump on the guy. Like you definitely have a course and vector to approach him that he hasn't noticed, but he's, for whatever reason, the engine's ready to go. And why don't we take our last break then?
Okay.
5 minutes?
Okay.
Cool. So come back at 11. Hello.
Hello again.
Yeah. Baking those cookies.
Man,
Yeah, the third
I'm gonna be so
mystery
sad
driver.
if we end up killing him.
Why?
Because I want to take drugs with him.
Nice. I printed drugs for you, bro. Come chill.
Then again, I can always just pawn off the extras onto Valentine, make my money back.
So you think.
Yeah. About those extras.
Man, I should have probed. How can I get you to take drugs?
Yeah.
Peer pressure.
Yeah. The answer in this game more often than not is why didn't you probe? Let's see. So you guys you guys had the jump on him, but you know that he's like ready to go, right?
Ready to bolt.
Yeah. So what is the plan? Just be sneaky?
I mean, I'm certainly down to get up close without him noticing.
Yeah.
Seems to be the best way to be ready to go.
Our intel on this individual is that he is living a good life and not trouble.
Maybe.
Yeah, kind of. Like,
I mean, it's a military corps, so I mean, there's always the chance that something's about to go wrong.
That's a good point.
And it's like, also, it was a little weird because when you first look up the place, it looks like a perfectly normal mining facility. But then as you looked deeper, it was like a military arm of Earth. So, yeah.
Well, so something shady, maybe.
Yeah. And then as you were looking for more information on him and you got close to the facility, then it blocked you as well, right? So it could have just been that you got too close to the facility, but it's also like, you know, I think it wouldn't be that weird that they would have maybe not as like not super honest profiles on the people working at a military arm place. Yeah.
Seems fair.
So you guys, I think the asteroid has been localized, obviously, for people to be able to like walk around and breathe for whatever way, because it's sci-fi. And
but he was in a sheath, correct?
He wasn't in one. The mecha thing is.
It was just ready to go.
It was just ready. Yeah, he's like, he was just there. You see his like heat signature or whatever. So is the plan just to sneak up? Is there a pincer movement?
You know, I think whatever direction Rill goes, Valentine will follow.
Okay.
And, you know, he even says, you know, I got your back. Which is a great opening for a flashback scene.
Okay, go ahead. So the way that the flashback works, PS, is you can tag it along to another role that you're doing, or it could be a separate role where you just have a flashback.
Okay.
So, and the purpose of that is like maybe the impetus of the flashback is the move that you're triggering right now, right? That's the thing that causes the flashback. So yeah, it just depends how you want to frame the scene. Because I'll say that if you're wanting all to like sneak up on him, then I'll probably get a risk roll from people saying that the risk is, you know, you aren't so sneaky. And
yeah, so maybe, you know, that's, you know, helping with the risk roll or something.
Yeah.
See maybe how it fits in.
Mm-hmm.
So the flashback is back to when Rill and I were hunting down a target. We located her in a, back room of a bar, kind of a private, members only area. We knew she had guards with her. There's guards at the back door, guards at, the interior door. So we decided to do a pincher. And, I was going to take the alley, Rowan inside. And it sort of went sideways when, the appointed time happened and Rowan in the, inside door, and Valentine was nowhere to be found. Luckily Rill was competent and she fought her way out. But Valentine took off. And at the time, and probably, still Rill had no idea why. Turns out Valentine had gotten an SOS call from someone important to him, a man named Cade, who used to be one of, or had been one of Valentine's first targets. And, in the process of following and investigating this person, turned into someone he had feelings for. And, they became lovers, and it was like Valentine's safe space. And coming back to the present day, when he got that when he had gotten that SOS, he had not arrived in time to save him from being clipped himself by a corporation.
Cool. Love it. Okay, so do you want to tack that onto the risk roll then?
Yeah.
I think it makes sense, right? You're going through the same motions of doing the same act with Rill, and then that it all comes like shooting back, right?
Exactly.
So the difference being now is you'll choose what feeling you'll roll with that, and then you'll take the highest die minus it by the lowest, and that's how many spikes you add to it instead of just one.
Okay.
That's the price.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with sad on this one. Guilty.
Seems legit.
Seems legit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Luckily, it's only 2. In terms of spike. That's what, an 8 for the risk roll.
Oh, is that the new one?
Yeah.
You roll. It was a 0, right?
Yeah.
You're a modifier, so. Oh yeah. So like you say, 2. Okay. I thought you were saying that you already have 2 spikes in it. Okay. Cool. Yeah. For some reason, the Roll20 didn't do the blip thing for me, so I didn't know that was a new roll. Cool. Okay. So, and then are the other 2 members of the team taking the other side, or what are you guys doing? Yeah.
Let's do it, Max.
Cool. And then, Rill, are you assisting with that role as well then?
Well, I mean,
with Valentine?
If Valentine wants me in the team, if we're going to be working together.
Yeah, well, you guys are working.
That was the goal.
I mean, it hasn't always been, though, has it?
You're rough.
One time.
One time. Yeah. I think, are you aiming for, like, you should tell me now about this?
I think Rill is.
Yeah.
Like, so touching, like,
as
the
we're
scar underneath the tattoo.
Yeah. Like there was someone I needed to help. Somewhere I needed to go, and I couldn't wait. And I still got there too late.
Well,
someone I wanted to spend my life with, the life that I couldn't lead when I was doing this job.
Well, this mission is more important to me than most, so maybe you can focus now.
Ouch, the shade.
I'm so sorry.
It's important to me,
Can
too.
you focus?
I can focus.
Good.
Okay, roll 1d6. And then the reason why I didn't ask for it before is because I wanted to see what the tax on your roll was before that. So, Alex, do you want to roll 1d6 and then we'll see if that's higher to bump up your guys' success?
Oh, yeah, sure. Nope.
Cool. Yeah, nope. So it ends up being a mid result. What about you folks? Are you just flanking? What is your approach? Give me the visual. They're
Dude,
coming
what is
from
that
one
course of
side.
action?
You guys talked over each other. What did you say, Lauren?
I said, indeed, what is our course of action? What would be the most efficient way to deal with this situation?
So I'm assuming, like all other team-related actions, we don't have a plan. Is that right? Are we planning on
Seems
clipping this
wise.
person? Okay. Are we planning to clip? Like, this is Rich asking. Are we planning to clip this person or tie them up and talk to them? And
Rel
make
is
them-
definitely planning to talk to them, but I'm not sure what everyone else is going to do.
Yeah, it seemed to me like the purpose of the mission was to see if these other individuals are like the way that Artemis described, like just driven by destruction and whatnot. So I think the clipping is not off the table, but it depends what you find.
Well, this has
I mean,
got
in the end,
yeah.
man, everyone's just disposable data anyways, so.
So you're so cold. I guess maybe we're approaching quietly and talking because I don't think Moza understands exactly what the plan. What do you want to speak with him, Max?
I suppose it would be enlightening. Although I do not have feelings one way or the other on the matter. I only really care about one thing.
Which is?
Imani.
That was completely inaudible. Oh, the money.
Oh, Imani.
Ah, yes, the money. Imani. Yes, I understand.
Oh, you do?
Yes. Well, I understand that's what you care about. But when am I going to the bar? After this? That's good. I don't want you to forget.
I suppose you can come to the bar. But you must drink.
Okay.
Excellent. Yes, then we shall have a drink at the bar.
Good. Perhaps we could invite Rill and you could sleep with her?
I would be delighted if all of us came to the bar and had a drink. Yes, that sounds like a fantastic idea.
No, I mean, I want to create a situation where the two of you could be intimate.
Why would I want to be intimate with Rill?
Because Rill's interested in that, and I think you are too.
No, I'm only interested in one thing, and that is Imani.
That's not true. You're interested in Rill, but you seem odd. I'm going to probe you.
Fraser losing his shit in the background.
I think that Z is knowing that we're probably not going to kill this guy. Z is feeling relatively peaceful, I think, for once. Oh, thank goodness, because that's exactly what I needed. An 8. What are you really feeling right now?
I think I'm feeling 3 things. I'm feeling 3 emotions. I'm feeling free. I'm feeling content, and I feel very loved.
And what is the like physical manifestation that Moza notices that is showing that you're on the drug right now?
Ooh, good question. What would that look like? Would it be like physicality specific to Q, or would it be like they have bloodshot eyes and like other druggy kind of symptoms?
I think it would be something like that. Yeah, like something that whoever takes this drug, if you're looking for it, they would see this, right?
Ooh, oh man, what's cool?
I don't know. Maybe change in eye color, like so each different eyes are like different colors instead of the same.
Yeah, like one's regressed back to
something like that, right?
Yeah, I dig that.
Moza will
totally
stop and put her hands on your shoulders and peer in. Are you on the drug right now?
No.
Are all of you high?
No.
You're all on the drug. Everyone's.
No one is on any drugs.
I can't believe this. I thought I was part of this team.
Is that when you get the like comms from Valentine being like in position?
Moza, we have a job to do, and I believe that we should get to it.
Okay.
Although I do appreciate
now. Mad.
I do appreciate your concern, and I acknowledge that you have feelings about this.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. You're a very valuable person.
Okay. I feel a little better. Let's go capture this person.
That was the intended effect of my words, so I'm very pleased that they had the desired effect.
Okay, so who's doing the risk for sneaking up?
I'll go for it unless Valentine, who's been in position and is Steve's last game, wants to roll the risk.
For you two?
You should do it, and I'll help you.
Is that me guiding you in?
Well, Valentine and Rill on the other side are already set up, right?
Oh, they're already set up, so yeah, okay.
Yeah. We're just seeing how you guys are, if you're sneaky too.
Sure, I'll attempt to be sneaky and I'll risk.
Say help?
Cool.
Yeah,
so
help me!
Yeah, so you can roll.
Of course, we're team members.
Hold on, let me look on the wheel of feels to see what feeling dejected and sad is. I guess it's sad. Yeah, all right, I'm going for sad. But I roll with advantage because of the help, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess you were nodding, but I'm looking at the screen. It doesn't have your face on it. I have no modifiers. That is a 12.
That's a lot of sneaking. Okay, so you're much better at it than the other people for some reason.
They're high.
Like, you guys are high, right? They're not high.
They're all high. Moses convinced they're all on the drug now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Moses thinks everybody's high except for them? Or is there...
Mm-hmm.
Rough. Okay, well. Okay, that's interesting. Well, yeah, so you guys come upon this guy who looks like Spike. And he even has like the cigarette that is like all squiggly. You know? It's always like bent up. Apparently he can't take them out of a pack straight ever. And it's like lit and smoking. And which, let's say, yeah. So you guys come up upon him. He doesn't notice you. What do you guys do? He's just smoking.
Is this one of the Artemises that we
Yes.
found? Like one of the 4?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's alone. But the engine's preheated or whatever, but you guys snuck up on him anyway. I should look up what it, like, it's ready to go. I need to know what the actual term is. The engines are hot.
Pre-ignition sequence is already, completed.
Yeah, exactly. So you snuck
And sorry,
up
which
on-
group got first?
We'll say that you guys get there like roughly the same time.
I think Rill kind of just wants to like inject him with the straight off the bat.
Okay, so have you made it like a thing that you can like throw or shoot at somebody or something, or like what does the thing look like?
That is a good question.
You could borrow my bolas. They're awesome.
Like, I could eject his leg or something.
It's like tape a syringe to a bowl and hurl it.
Right, but my question to you would be like, wouldn't you want to talk to him before he's not compelled by, like, before he's unmodified, or no? Because how would you know if he?
So say, what if he's already on the drug?
Well, sure, that too, but I mean, like, how would you know that he's changed or not if you've already changed it, right?
That is a good question. Timing of drugs, more important than I thought.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I think in that case, Rill just wants to like make herself known.
Okay, and I'll go through all of you guys. What is everybody else doing?
I'm going to put myself between him and his sheath.
Okay. Moza and Max.
It's too close for bolas, right? I mean, if I whip out my bolas, am I going to be hitting my teammates?
No, I think you're good at them, right?
I'm bolasizing him.
Yeah. Like it would just immobilize him, right? Like it would be like a rope.
That's what I'm after.
Cool. Okay. And so go ahead and roll that then.
Risking?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm still pretty sad. Actually, no, she's mad. Z is mad because yeah, I'm gonna take it out on this guy because they all take their drugs. And...
Take it out on this guy who's just sitting on an asteroid.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a military asteroid though. He's obviously evil. He's an earther. That's an 11.
He's an earther. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, tell me what it looks like to bowl at this fellow.
So Moza, even in the spacesuit, has the Ebola necklace thing and just like snaps it out and throws it. It goes 0G, right? And then it's these gold globes. We have a cool like zoom in, and we can see the reflection of the guy's face as he turns, and then wraps around his arms and drops into the ground.
So
and I think Z's got a little remote control to tighten it if need be. Like,
okay. At first, I thought you were gonna like zap or something like zap, zap.
It's like a clicker.
Yeah. Okay. And what is Max doing?
I think Max's instinct was to get between him and the sheath, but that's already being done. So maybe just, I don't know, maybe approach with Brill to talk, intervene.
Valentine, are you disabling the sheath, or are you just being between?
Yeah, if he's locked down now, then I'll disable it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that won't.
Yeah, at least turn it off.
Yeah, it is going cool. Whatever the terminology is, people, it is off. Cool. You take out the key. Just kidding. Okay, and so, Rill, you wanted to engage with the talking, or what?
Yeah, just want to be like, hello.
Yeah, and he's like completely disabled, fallen over. I think the smoke is still in his mouth though, because it's like it maybe is just hanging there by like the spittle or whatever. But he kind of like smiles and then starts laughing, and then he says, "I always thought when somebody came for me, I would have seen it coming, but this time I didn't."
Well, I mean,
are you Earthers?
No, we're from the colony, and we aren't here to kill you.
You're here to take me in?
No, I just wanted to talk.
You have a funny way of showing it, and he like glances at his like ship that's been disabled, and he's like all tied up and stuff. He's like, I don't suppose I have much choice.
No. So what are you doing out here?
So you don't know who I am, or you do?
Well, I've talked to another one of you, but it's not too clear about your motivations.
Are you probing him during this conversation as well?
Oh, of course.
Okay. And he looks at you and he says, "You've talked to the old man then?"
I mean, he looks pretty young to me, but maybe that's what you call him.
Yeah, he smiles. He says, "Yeah, you can when you can hop to any body, I guess. I just mean that he's the oldest one of us." Did he give you that speech?
Certainly did.
All right. Okay, so roll your probe, because there might be things that you might want to know.
I got a 9.
Cool. Or
also, as long as joyful, because like, yeah, this is fun.
okay. Is it? I'm wondering. Is it like? Is it a probe or is it an ultimatum? I'm wondering. Like, are you being like, you tell me this now, or I hurt you, or is this just a conversation at the moment?
It's a very interesting question because
previously you were like,
so you always said you wanted to talk with him.
Like, I want to talk with him, but if I didn't figure anything out,
do you plan on clipping him if he
move
doesn't give you the answer?
Where I can probe people if I hurt them. So I was planning on using that.
You mean torture people?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so how are you, tell me, is it just a talk right now or what?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just a talk right now.
Okay. Sounds good. So, is anyone? Well, I don't know if anyone could help you probe them, but if anyone can think of fictional justification for that, then that might be able to push you over to a 10 with more questions.
Not the moment.
No. Okay, so you've got one question, is it?
One question.
Or one hold. Sorry.
What was the last thing we said? It was.
I think he laughed about him calling the old man, and he just said like he's the oldest of us.
Right. What's the important thing to Rel at least is what are you really feeling?
Well, are you gonna maybe pose a question that you want to get answered, and then do that one?
Sure.
Yeah.
The other important question is like, so this is the military. Things obviously aren't what they seem. I imagine you're still killing people. How's life for you?
How's life? Listen, the old man, he came and talked to me, and I may not be as clean as him. I've still got blood on my hands, but what we do out here, it's not so bad.
But I mean, you still feel urges, right?
I think he like
the old
gulps.
man said, you're still in a cycle.
Yeah. Let's see. And is that when you're saying, what are you really feeling then?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. I think he looks you like dead in the eyes, and he's like, I've been able to suppress the urges for a long time now. And like when he looks at you though, it looks like a predator looking at prey, right? Like he's a wolf looking at like a rabbit, right? And you know that he's lying. But what he's really feeling is hopeful, because he thinks that he's like passing off to you, right?
Right.
So now what do you do?
Well, I mean, I've got some drugs, and this seems like the perfect time to use them.
So he's like a guinea pig, basically, or what?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
to see if it goes away.
See what it looks like.
Okay, so real approaches with a syringe or something. Just what is everybody else doing?
No, we talked about this through further study.
This is study.
This is in no way clinical. We are on an asteroid in the middle of nowhere.
So what?
We don't even.
If he's broken, clip him.
Well, we're seeing if he can be fixed.
For how long? Will it last a minute? A month? When will
I
we
guess we'll
find
find out.
This will not fix him.
How do you even know?
I know.
Looks like you're outvoted. I'm sorry, Rill. Please put that away.
No.
I will use the voice on you. The voice!
Don't
What does that even mean?
So it's a mirror. It's a mirror move. That's always a word I have trouble saying. Mirror. When you alter your voice in order to give someone a command that is hard to resist, roll. And Z is like, damn it all! I'm gonna be powerful right now and make you not do this stupid drug thing because I'm mad. but I'm feeling powerful.
And Rill, are you interfering?
Sure.
Of course.
Awesome.
Yeah, with your will powers.
Does that mean I roll with disadvantage?
Yeah, disadvantage.
I feel like
what does that even mean?
Oh man, I would have succeeded if you hadn't interfered. I've rolled a 6.
hey,
I can XP.
also
Mark XP.
just for like flavor, I really like the idea that Rel has like compensating ears.
Yeah.
So like, when Rel was put on this team, this was like foreseen that something like this could happen, and the ears like try and tune the voice out.
Right. It just floods your ear with like white noise or something like that instead.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Mark XP. And I think that's when your eyes go to like the sides of his arm or whatever, and he like is making sort of, well, you can't see my hand. He's like moving his head around his torso to like touch something on his suit. And when it touches, the bolos just like drop, and he stands up. And he says, "You've just made a mistake." What is everybody else doing?
Well, they're all too bunched together for the automatic shotgun.
Yeah.
I think I might actually go at him with the blades, though.
Oh, cool. So we get like a Cowboy Bebop jiu-jitsu.
It's obvious. Yeah,
stuff.
It's obvious he has fight in him.
Right. Okay, so you're neutralizing?
Yes.
And is Moza okay with this? Is Moza interfering?
No.
Okay.
Is Rill interfering?
I mean, Rel certainly wants to.
You can.
Yeah, I'm down for some sweet ass hand-to-hand fights between party members.
Okay, so roll with disadvantage, Valentine.
Yep.
And then we'll see what that fiction looks like.
3 dice 6 key KL2. Okay. And I'm doing this with power.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so you still get what is it? 2 hold, right?
Yeah. So I think I want to inflict harm, and he's on an asteroid, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you all
There's
are.
craters and stuff on this asteroid.
Sure.
I'd like to force a change of location.
Okay. Cool.
Like down one of these, hills or crater edges.
So how does Rill get in the way, and how do you circumvent Rill?
Rill, do you want to field that, or?
I think Rill gets in the way just by like physically standing in between the two of you.
Okay.
Like maybe some punching in there.
Okay. So I think
like,
part of the way,
part
of the way I get around it is I mean, I am darn quick, I am, a little bit of, honed in there and everything. So I have, some pretty fancy footwork.
Mm-hmm.
And, I faked, to the left, and, I'm able to get around you on the right. And as I do, I grab him and, throw him down the hill.
Right.
This crater, and then jump after him.
And you're inflicting harm with what?
Actually, one of the blades when I grab them.
Right.
One of my mag blades.
Which
So
is 2 harm? Okay. Sounds good. So I think it only like partially goes in. Right? You stick them in like maybe
Right. Yeah, because I had to focus on moving them too.
Yeah. And so he goes tumbling down. What's the next move here?
For me or others?
Well, Max, you haven't done anything yet, right?
Yeah, Max should do a thing. Max.
Oh, I don't know where Max sits. Not really.
Okay.
Max isn't home right now.
Yeah.
I think Max is content to watch what happens.
Okay.
As boring as that sounds.
Well, that's fine. I just wanted to give you the opportunity if you wanted to do something. So, Rill, are you... What is going through Rill's mind right now? Are you like, we need to clip the guy, or you're like... So, like, the Valentine's like, kill the guy, right? And then Rill is like, we just need to take him for research purposes. Is that right?
Just need to give him the drugs and all will be well.
Right. And Max doesn't care, and Boza's against giving people drugs, but also doesn't want him to die.
Well, so we came here to clip him because he's a real and present danger. It's outside of the scope of our mission. So Moza is a little ambivalent about that, but Moza definitely doesn't like the idea of capturing a prisoner and forcing them through drug tests against their will. So...
Wait, we're just giving him the drugs one-off, right?
So, based off that, killing the target is the best option amidst this terrible, dysfunctional team.
Yes!
I just wanted to know, this isn't actually a mission. We're just doing this because we want to.
I know. I know that.
Yeah.
There is no mission, there's no pay, there's just sadness.
Yes, it's all sadness. Okay, so, and the interesting thing about it is, to truly kill this person, they would need to be clipped, right? You could kill, well, I mean, if he's not backed up somewhere else, then he could just be dead. That's true.
But we've been told he's backed up in multiple places. This
Yeah.
is just one of the sleeves, effectively, that also has sentience, so it's like a copy. Oh god, I'm so confused.
Yeah. So the only way to truly erase data is to clip. So it's up to you guys. So what's the next move? And we don't have much time to wrap up, actually. So we'll have time for like a move, and then yeah.
So I think the move comes from Valentine, right? Valentine going for the killing blow? Yeah?
Yeah, are you going to kill him, or are you going to convince...
I think I want to knock him out and leave that in limbo, because if I know he needs to be clipped, and I know only Rill can do it, it's going to take some convincing to motivate or not motivate her to do it.
The convincing is literally just let me inject him with drugs first.
and maybe that's what it's going to take, but he is a threat now.
Well, we only have 5 minutes to closing, so we can just say that when you inflicted harm, you just knocked him out instead.
Okay. That sounds fine.
Yeah, like maybe you did some fancy, throwing.
He was thrown down a ravine, edge, so.
Yeah, there you go. So that feels like it would knock you out, maybe. Cool. So is the closing shot of it then you guys bringing this guy to the ship to get...
Yep.
To further...
Bringing him to the ship one way or the other.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, why don't we... Yeah, we can close with that, but do you want to do an epilogue for Valentine, or do you want to... Like, I'll still be running playtests of this, so I can always archive your character, and if you ever pop back in, then you can use Valentine.
I think one of the things he would definitely do is, after we, figure out these missions, he would attempt to take the drug for a while and see what life is like when he doesn't have the urge to, constantly be on the hunt for, for the next target.
Okay. So
I texted in the chat, but the reason he had, left this Cade was because, he always felt that call. So, his lover was, someone, sort of like a safe harbor, when he could go back and, he could live a normal life for a little bit, but he always had that call to go out again.
Right.
And, it was during one of those times he was out that, the corporation that was after him, finally clipped him.
So I'm wondering, is the closing shot you guys bring the guy to the ship and everything, and then there's like a scene with one of you guys like walking by this prisoner or something like that, and we get like the shots of everybody in the ship except that maybe are you like gone taking his ship? Or is that later?
I think that's later.
Oh, later. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that he still had the initial. He was still going to do, try and fulfill the drive of taking out these few, because that's for the greater good. But after that, and maybe depending on what the real success rate is with the drug, and whether she gets the chance to test it, would determine how soon he takes off.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and I keep everybody's characters on Roll20 anyway.
Okay.
So, and I'll definitely be playtesting it some more. Just from this playtest, I'll be tweaking it a bit. So,
Cool.
How about questions then? Does anyone have questions that they've resolved or worked towards that they want to get XP for?
I think there was the question of what happened when I left real high and dry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we actually worked towards the one where what would it take Moza to prioritize the the mission over feelings.
It's true. Yeah. So 3.
And that was without prompting. It's excellent.
Mm-hmm. And make sure, if you do your keep in mind your amended one too, right? Your key for that.
Yeah, unfortunately, at least for my amended, we were dealing with all special people, enhanced people.
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't have to treat normals like garbage.
Right. Well, you could have in the theater, I guess, but no. So, okay, anybody else work towards questions? Resolve?
I think I resolved the are we a team for Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, all it took was the death of everything else.
Woohoo! And so, did Valentine articulate what happened that day too, or did we just see that in a flashback with the past? Right? Because
I think we saw most of it in the flashback, but then I had articulated some of it.
Yeah. So if you have a question about that, then there you go. What about Max Q?
Yeah, I feel a bit cheap because one of them I just backed down is like, what are our target's motivations, which we definitely uncovered, which I didn't have to work too hard to find out at all.
Okay.
And then another one was who was the person in the bar, which turns out to be Q.
Yeah, well, and now
neat.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I had the shadowy figure in the bar. Cool.
And Moza?
Can I get Rill and Max to share an intimate moment? No.
You found out the answer, though.
I can't, because they're just junkies.
You have to wait till you have to wait till Max comes off the drugs.
Yeah, Q's not interested, but Max might be. Cool. And then that's the session then.
Cool.
Do people want to debrief again?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. It'll take
Yeah.
me a little bit to catch up to you guys. I have to run, pick up supper, but I'll hop on after.
Sure. So why don't we say we'll hop on in like 10 minutes then?
That sounds great.
Cool.
Awesome.
See you at 4:11 or
Okay. See you guys in a
whatever
bit.
time 11. Okay. See ya.
Later.